Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. It's a little cool and crisp over here, hence still the sweater. I've mentioned before, we had 80 and 90 degrees last week. I just got a message from somebody. Might have a special guest coming on this morning. If we can only get him for a few minutes. Chris Conway, Scottish medium friend of mine, traveled to Egypt with me and John Ward. And he was also, you may have seen him on the Brit show Most Haunted. After Derek Acora was cut loose from that show, they brought in Chris Conway for a couple of seasons as a medium. And that was quite a while back now, 10 years ago at least. But he traveled to Egypt with John Ward and I back in 2014. That's when my daughters came along. My daughters ended up being a great friend of his. My daughter Abby traveled to Scotland and ended up visiting him. Let's see. I have to read later. I need to rip out for a wee bit, but I can come on at about 3:45. So he'll be on in about 45 minutes or so. And I'm just going to tell him perfect. Can't wait. Yeah, Chris is a good friend. Haven't seen him face to face since 2014 because he lives over in Scotland, of course, and I live here. And he was so quiet on Most Haunted. Of course, his job there was to be a medium for them. And so John Ward and we asked Chris to come along on our Egypt trip back in 2014, where we took a bunch of people with us. About 14 people came with us, and we traveled around Egypt, kind of retracing all the steps that we took writing the book, The Exodus Reality. And we also then added on, we went down to Abu Simbel, which is that you've seen the monument before. It's with the four big seated statues of Ramses II down near Aswan, in Aswan. And so Chris came along, and we had some very interesting experiences there. And so, as I said, my daughters, Abby and Bryn, they became fast friends with Chris. And Abby's the only one of us that's seen him in recent years. She went a few years ago to Scotland, just took a trip on her own to see Scotland. And she stopped at Chris's, and they all had dinner. Chris and his wife and Abby and his family, and so they had a great time. So it'll be fun to have him on. I haven't talked to Chris other than text messages for ages. So, but we see each other every now and then. You know how it is on social media. I like his posts. He likes some of my posts, and we have little skippy snippets of one sentence, two sentence conversations every now and then. And so he's coming on today in about 40 minutes or so, thereabouts. So that'll be fun and exciting. That was very impromptu. I saw a post of his this morning, and I commented on it, and he commented back, said, we got to catch up. And I said, yeah, we sure do. And he said, when do you have time? When do you have time? So on, so on, so on. And I said, how about this morning? Why don't you come on this morning? He says, video or audio? So I know what to hook up. I'm going to tell him both. Have your camera face on. He just said video or audio, and I said both. So he just laughed. And so audio would be easier, most likely, he said. So there we go. That'll happen in a little bit this morning. I've talked about Chris a few times on the show when talking about Egypt. One thing I found, I started saying on the show he was on, Most Haunted, he was rather reserved and kind of quiet. He seemed like a quiet guy. And au contraire, when you get him off of what he was doing as a job on that show, he's quite the witty fellow. And so we had a great time with him. We had him on radio, and we were talking about from Egypt. We broadcast every day for Intrepid Radio, John Ward and I, when John was my partner in Intrepid. And so we broadcast from that trip in 2014, which is 9 years ago now, believe it or not. And so we did a live show every day from Egypt. And we were joking around with Chris, and John or I accidentally called him Chris Carter. Oh, it was John because his dog is Carter. John Carter, what was Carter's first name? The guy who discovered Tutankhamun's tomb back in the 20s, and 100 years ago now. And so John accidentally called him Chris Carter, and then we laughed as it's Conway. And John goes, "Oh, Conway, what am I thinking?" And Chris retorts very quickly. He says, "Well, when you told me to come on this, I thought I was coming on a game show." So good retorts. And anyway, and you can go listen to all of those broadcasts from Egypt. I've posted them a few times. If I can find a link quickly, I'll put it up. But we did 11 broadcasts from Egypt. They were an hour long each, and really, really fascinating stuff. We were recapping all of our exploits of the day when we'd get on radio, or we'd be 5 a.m. to go live over here we were on KGRA radio back then. And let's see if we've got it. The ERA. That's Exodus Reality Adventures. I don't know where I've got that anymore. So that particular link. So I'll find it and I'll post it, and we can talk about that while we are here. Let me do this. Since we're not talking about anything super intensive yet, let me find my groups. I don't think that's it. I think it's on the Exodus Reality page. If you go to Facebook and you look up Exodus Reality Adventures, I think is how we have it. Exodus Reality Adventures. Let's see if it comes up even. Yep, there it is. Maybe I've got it over here. Review changes to your page. No, I don't need to do that right now. Let's see if I've got that link up. Going. Come and check out my, hang on. I'll find it because I think there's that and that. If you go over to the Exodus Reality Facebook, Exodus Reality Adventures, nah, it's not in there. I don't have it listed on there. I don't know why. I had some wonky stuff go on with my website, and I had to change everything around. So I'll find that and I'll post it again one of these days. So if you all look up Exodus Reality Adventures, let's just see if it comes up in there. There is a list of, did I put them all on YouTube? What is this one? That's an ad for the trip. Exodus Reality Adventures, Egypt trip. Exodus Reality. Somebody has Exodus Realty, by the way. Not the same thing. Let's see. Exodus Reality Adventures. Directory. Exodus Reality Mag Cloud. We had the magazine edition that we put out for Exodus Reality back in 2014. Intrepid Mag. Those of you who don't know, the radio show was an offshoot of Intrepid Magazine, Intrepid Mag. And we published for a few years, and then we started the radio show in 2013, John Ward and I. Hey, Leslie, how you doing? So, something popped up. I think she went into Exodus Reality Adventures over on Facebook. And we put that up because we were going to do more trips, and we ended up not doing more trips. We had a trip that kind of fell to pieces, and we lost money. and all of that we never actually took. And some people that signed up for that trip lost their money right along with us, and we couldn't recap that. When I talk about things that I was responsible for, ways I've inadvertently hurt people over the years, that was one of them, because we lost a ton of money, and we lost half the people's money that signed up, and stuff with Egypt and so on and so forth, and as the trip was coming up. And so it was nutty, and it was a bad situation. And so we felt really bad about that. That was the second year we were going to do the trip, and it didn't happen. And for lots of reasons. That was the 2 weeks before we were supposed to take that trip out to the western deserts in Egypt and visit the oasis of Siwa, which is about 500 miles east of the Nile, or I'm sorry, west of the Nile. And it was about 19 miles from the border of Libya. But that's that same time, a couple of weeks before that happened, that same time was when some Libyan extremists kidnapped Egyptians and beheaded them all on the beach. And we had several people that were very worried about coming on the trip there. I was frankly a little worried because we'd be that close to the Libyan border. And the trip got canceled. The money got disappeared. Let's put it that way. So that was a rough go. And that was almost 10 years ago. That would have been October of 2014, I think, when we were going to do that. Or it was February of 2015. I can't remember. Yeah, Rapid Dog. No, Rainy. She's not feeling well these days. She's not like sickly and down and, infirmed or anything, but she's got all kinds of weird stuff going on. I put up a post on my Facebook of a picture of her that popped up in my photos, my Google Photos, and I thought, oh, I never posted that. It was a couple of months back, and she had a heart monitor on, and I said, heart-stopping heart monitor days. And she's doing fine, but she has been having more than normal series of migraines, and partial migraines, I call them. It's where the migraine's starting up, but there's not much. It doesn't go full bore on her, but her Hashimoto's, which is thyroid stuff. She's 43. She'll be 43 in a week. And I think she thinks she's going into like early menopause. I'm like, how can you look so hot and be in menopause? I said, I don't see a mustache and beard growing. Sorry, that's a joke for those of you who've gone through it. That doesn't always have that reaction. And so she's got that that compounds it. And I think that's affected by all the thyroid stuff, and she's got heart stuff. Her heart races for no reason. She'll be sitting there and her heart rate will go up, to like 90, 100, 110. And she's got to sit and calm down. She breaks out in sweats because her heart's racing. And so they put her on a heart monitor. She's fine, she's upstairs. She's tired, but she's tired out all the time. She runs way too much. She does too much. Trying to slow her down is like, I don't know, not being Superman and trying to stop a speeding locomotive. So, Leslie says, it seems as though the healthcare system has developed some serious issues these days. I can't tell you how many people are frustrated with trying to find answers. Yeah, and every time Rainey does this, she goes on that heart monitor a couple of times where they had her on it for like 30 days. And inconclusive results. Oh, you're fine. Everything. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. They keep telling her, maybe we need to give you anxiety medications. And she's like, it's not just my anxiety. And of course, she has anxieties on top of it. So that multiplies it as well. Yeah, Susie, she thinks she might be premenopausal. It's possible. She's put on a little weight, which frustrates the hell out of her. Her thyroid's acting funky. Now they're warning her of, thyroid cancer and things like that. And they might have to take her thyroid out. and things. We don't know any of this for sure yet. So no, she hasn't tested for Lyme's that I know of, but they may have and all that. She's got the iron deficiency because of all this stuff. And so she's not the same spunky, vivacious self that we've always seen of her. And Uncle Dave knows her well. He knows what Rainey's like, and she's a pistol. She's a bitch on wheels, but she's my bitch on wheels. And hey, Ryan Gale, and everybody else. I didn't say hi to anybody today. Grumpy Stack. Any word on the launch of the apparel website? Yes, it got delayed. Only delayed for what seems like a little thing, but it's a big thing. We had a big vendor that was going to do all our stuff, who just 30 years been doing this kind of stuff, and we were all set up, getting them hooked up into the website. So what they were going to do is the vendor's going to take all the orders that come in. They're going to fulfill the orders, do all the shipping, and really manage the website. And this was right up this guy's alley, and he had to drop out. And I'll tell you this without naming names, because I don't want to embarrass him at all, but this guy said he came back to us about a week ago and said, I can't do it because of his big clients. He has, like, Microsoft is a big client, and other companies that were giving him crap for doing politically oriented stuff. I'm sure it would have been okay if it would have been leftist politics, but it's right politics, conservative politics. And so he had to back out. He was woeful about it, but he had to do it. So we had to find somebody else, and we did. We've got somebody who does a lot of work like this that's taking it over, but we're going to be about 2 weeks now from that launch. And it's disappointing. It's discouraging. It's frustrating. Even Rainey has said, that there's not an issue in life that her anxiety doesn't multiply for her. Said, well, we've been here before. It just ain't going to happen. It's going to happen. It's a launch thing. It's getting this. So we got this vendor. We're getting him all hooked up. He's doing a bunch of pre-inventory for us, and he needs about 2 weeks, and then that site will launch. So there it is, Grumpy. And everybody who followed that. That's going to happen. It's still big. It's still a lot of big names, a lot of big people that are not backing it financially, but backing it verbally. Big people in the, I will tell you this, for those of you who care, there are people like within the Trump organization that have seen all this stuff and are absolutely over the moon about it and are going to help promote this. People in the conservative movement. And when I say the Trump organization, it's all the people that are close to him, his backers and things like that. And a lot of these people have seen it. Governors of states. We've got the Attorney General of Texas and other influencers that are all going to back this thing up. So we're pretty confident that as soon as it actually gets launched, it's going to go very well. And that's our hope. And to keep building on it, like a 9-line apparel, if you've ever seen them, conservative organization that does a lot of military, a lot of America's stuff. Companies like that is what our company is going to end up being. So for 33.3%, yeah, I'm a third partner in it, so that's a good thing. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. And I did all the art, so you can go over there, but I don't think everybody can get in quite yet because it's password protected until the launch. But there's times he takes the password protection down to be working on the site, and people have gotten right in and seen it. So you have lots of 9-line apparel, says Leslie Holker. So you know the brand, what the brand is like. We were actually going to partner with 9-line at one point. And we just found a much better situation. So that actually made us more dollars per shirt, hat, garment, junk. You know how that stuff goes. Yeah, we're putting out something that we believe in that's a message, but we're also capitalists. We're also people who want to make money. And I'm not talking about, we're greedy wanting to make money. No, if we're going to put our efforts into it, we want to make money off of this. I think it'd be awfully nice if this ended up being like a 9-line apparel and some of those where it takes on a life of its own. So far, we've got some pretty good movement in the conservative movement. We've got a huge mailing list, and by huge, I mean pushing 1 million of vetted conservative buyers of merchandise like this. And that makes it a good thing. So that'll be fun to see this launch and take off. And it's frustrating to watch the holdups along the way. Everything's done over there. As a matter of fact, you can go to patriotpropagandaapparel.com and you can see if you can get in or not. And I'll call it up. And Dave's been very quiet, even though he's here.
Oh, I didn't realize you'd brought me up.
You've been on for about 5 minutes. We're just watching you. So, how you doing today, Dave?
Waiting for you to bring me on. I'm sorry.
Oh, yep. It says password. Yeah, I wonder if he changed. He must have changed the password because now I can't get in. So,
because often you're doing your morning monologue thing, and
yeah. Let's see if this password works. Oh, it does, but it's bullet pointed out, so I don't even know what the password is right now. But here's the website. I don't think you can get in this morning, but I'll throw it up there for anybody watching so you know where it is. Boom. And I think there's also an Instagram, and there is a, I believe there's a page on Facebook. And I'm wondering, I still have to do some graphics for that if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if there's a place where I can send you. Parallel. There we go.
Sorry about the overhead shadow.
Yeah, there it is.
A new camera mount. Third time's the charm, I think. But I mounted it upside down and didn't realize until I'd gotten the phone in there, and I didn't want to dick around with remounting it. So,
hang on, Dave. I was typing. There's the Facebook link for Patriot Propaganda, and I believe it's also over on. And by the way, that's the name we gave it because we said, why not? That's what we're doing. Let's just call it like it is. Matt said, one of my partners. He says, let's just call it like it is. Patriot Propaganda.
Literate. I like it.
Yep. Boom. So you can go take a look at it over on Facebook. There is an Instagram too, I am sure. I'll just double check it just to make sure. Patriot Propaganda Apparel. Patriot Propaganda Apparel. Patriot Brand Apparel. Patriot Swimwear Apparel. Patriot American Apparel. Patriot Choice Apparel. Independence High School Apparel. What else is there? Oh, there it is. It's at the top of the list. PPA Official is what it is. PPA Official. And so you can go here. You can see some of the stuff up in here, and mostly just Matt's been putting up Patriot memes and stuff that'll be filled with our own stuff pretty soon. Right now, because we have not launched yet, you're not going to see that. But here it is. If you want to go join it, if you're on Instagram, boom, there it is. Boom. So there we go. And I'm out of coffee, by the way. I'm out of coffee.
I got me a double size today.
And so I'm drinking tea.
I hate that when we're chatting and I run out of coffee.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm out of coffee in the house. Raini went shopping yesterday, and I said, hey, can I come with just to hang out? She goes, no. I said, what? I said, you bringing your other boyfriend along? She said, yeah. And then she ended up taking Ellie with her. But so she went shopping. She said, I don't want you to come along. I said, why? She said, because you're always pulling stuff off the shelf and say, we need this, we need that. I don't do it that way. She said, you don't get to choose. She said, you always choose expensive stuff. You want this, you want that. You want this, you want that. She says, I need to go without you. So I'm not arguing with you all the time about what we can get. She organizes all that stuff. She's a Proverbs 31 woman. A woman of virtue who takes care of her house. So anyway, I think it's just a thing. She doesn't want me to pick things because I'm an adult and I can't do that. So,
yeah,
I'm drinking tea this morning. It's like a bourbon laced tea, sadly not strong, bourbon and vanilla and all that kind of stuff in it. And it was a strong caffeinated tea. I said, that's the tea for me. Well, hi. You going to come over and say hi or just come down and look at me?
Is that Ellie?
That's Ellie. Uncle Dave's here.
Hey, Ellie.
She came and just sat in the chair over there and stared at me. I go, you going to come over? She didn't say a word and turned and walked out. So there you go. Rapid Dog says, Scotty is a merchant's dream shopper. Yeah, that's it. I think I don't know what that is.
It means that you just
a merchant?
go for all the good ads, and you're like,
oh yeah, I like
one of those. I'll buy that.
Rainy Roberts, because you buy. She's listening upstairs. Here. This is what Rainy just said. Because you buy for your stomach and not for with your brain. Then food sits and rots. Yeah, sometimes.
Well, that is the truth. I can see.
I bought shallots last time, and I forgot I had them. They got put in the drawer in the fridge that's supposed to be the vegetable drawer.
Why the F would you spend money on shallots?
The rotter drawer, the rotter. So it goes in there, and you forget it's there, and it rots. So
why the F would you spend money on shallots?
You should come on from your phone, Rainy. If you're not going to come down here, come on from your phone.
Sweetheart, how are you today?
And here, let me put the link in for anybody who wants to come in and chat, especially my lovely wife upstairs. Boom, there's the link. You just click on that link. You can come in. And Dave, I don't know if you caught in the beginning. We have Chris Conway from Scotland is going to be coming on.
I was here for all that. Yeah.
All right. He's coming on about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes. Rainy, go get him some coffee, says Grumpy Stack. She was gonna yesterday, and she thought there you go. There it is, Grumpy. Shut it, Grumpy. That's what I get all the time.
Don't mess with the Rainy. Don't do it.
I'm like, hey, Rainy, you look hot this morning, I told her. And she goes,
she always looks hot.
Shut it, Scotty.
She always looks hot. She's an amazing woman.
Walking in on your wife, and she's got a tight push-up bra. I don't know if it's supposed to be push-up, but heaving mounds of cleavage and gorgeousness. And I said, whoa. I said, hello. She says, shut it, Scotty. Or I always say, you're hot today. Man, you're hot. She goes, uh-huh. Her famous answers, uh-huh. She blows me off.
Hot.
I said that, didn't I? Why not buy shallots at Dave Potter?
That's a lot of money to spend when an onion will do in 90% of the time.
It's what?
It's a lot of money to throw around when a normal onion will do.
Yeah, I've had normal onions.
I mean, and the taste difference between an onion and a shallot when you're throwing it, knowing how you're probably using it, throwing it in a pan with a bunch of burgers to make smash burgers or something.
Yeah,
you might as well use a regular onion.
Yeah, shut up, Dave. Shut it, Dave. I like shallots. I thin slice them.
I know.
And then I put them in the pan.
And then you smash your bison or whatever on it. And yeah, I get it. But
I take the burger and I lay it right on top of it and I smash burger them in.
Yeah.
Good stuff too. Thank you, Sandra Saunders. I always do that. Sandra Saunders. Because it's true. Thank you. My own wife hasn't even called me hot this morning. So there you go. Come on, Rainy. Not that I'm soliciting for your comment, but there you go.
I'm not sure I'd refer to you as hot.
What?
I'm not sure I would refer to you as hot. Rainy.
Well,
yeah.
I don't refer to you as hot either. So there you go.
That's okay.
Take that.
That's okay. I don't see that as a.
I don't have to think you're hot to spoon with you.
Don't think you're going to be spooning with me anytime soon.
There it is. Hot-headed. Hot-headed. Check it and see. I got a fever of 103. Hot-headed. Hot-headed.
You know, I just may paint forests the rest of my life and skip everything else I'm working on because.
Oh, speaking of painting, Rainey just took. Now you know how we had that ugly chocolate brown color in our living room.
Yeah.
Just makes it really dark and dank and looking in there, and it's just not nice. Rainey picked up some paint. She got it for free or $3 or $5 a gallon. I can't remember which, and it's really nice.
Bright
paint.
orange?
No. Hold on, brother. I'm going to attempt to come in from the car park, says Chris. Perfect. So Chris Conway's out there. He's going to try to come in via the car park.
You're going to make him sit in the car park when he could just come inside?
Yeah. Sorry, take the servant's entrance or sit in the car park. Now, that was at 9:30. That was 2 minutes ago. So let's see if he makes it in. But what was I saying about Rainey?
Paint. Living room.
And she got this paint, and she said, it's kind of pinkish. And I go, pink? I said, what's worse in my living room, chocolate brown or pink? But she put it on the wall, and it's got such a tone to it. It's more like a creamy white that's got like, you got to go,
Peachy?
What is that pink? And it modifies off of the one wall she left, the front windows, she left that wall dark brown. And she painted that whole window from the corner all the way to the kitchen and the dining room and the sliding glass door. And look who's coming on. And it looks really nice up there. There she is.
Were you gonna make fun of my ballet slipper pink?
Your ballet slipper pink?
Yeah.
No.
Pink.
Maybe your boxer shorts. Leave my boxer shorts alone. Okay.
I realized this morning as I'm getting coffee and getting ready to come on the show, I haven't worn pants since Thursday.
What did Ryan do? Oh, you haven't? Yeah. And I came home from lodge
and I've been lounging in pajamas all day Friday, all day Saturday, and so far today. But I'm gonna have to get dressed at some point.
Sign of a productive man. I've been lounging in my pajamas for days. So we might have Chris Conway on.
I painted for the last 2 days. I just threw myself into the studio and.
Well, that's what you do when you paint. You end up not getting dressed up. So.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Rainey. Vinland into an autumn scene, and I'm gonna work on the water today. So that's gonna be a lot of.
No shirt, no shoes, no problem. No shirt, no shoes, no boxer shorts, no problem.
Right.
Hello,
if you didn't wear them, I wouldn't mess with them.
Did you hear me?
No, what? I was paying attention to my wife.
I was talking to your wife.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Hello, Rainy, sweetheart. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm good. Hey. I'm fine.
Let's get more of her in here. There we go.
This
more Rainy.
Awesome,
it's like more cowbell.
That's been going on. It sucks. So I'm tired as hell.
Yeah.
I had to get off this blanket here. Hold on.
Oh, hey. Hi.
There we go. Almost.
You can lean up against me.
Stuck under my butt.
It's the boxers.
It's not the boxers. It's the blanket. It's cold down here.
It is cold. I'll go get the heater just for you. You say hi to everybody for a minute.
Hi, everybody, for a minute.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm fine. How have you been?
I'm good. I worry about you.
Yeah. I'll be fine.
Okay.
I finally got to talk to my paternal side of the family.
Oh yeah, tell about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I had a hint come up in my records on Ancestry and followed it and was able to get in contact with my aunt. And I found out their health history on that side probably isn't the best. So it's like, fun.
Somebody she's never met before,
right?
Which was very interesting.
So, how was that conversation?
It was interesting. There's still lots of questions. So she wants to talk again. I want to talk again. So that's awesome.
Super. At least
they're not doing
that. That's pretty cool. We don't want to know anything about your people.
Right.
Your people.
So we'll talk again. I don't know when. I don't feel good today. I haven't been sleeping well. So I'm just freaking tired. And then allergies, this half-assed winter, spring stuff is blooming, but my sinuses, my brain,
yeah, my sinuses. I didn't want to breathe several times last night, so I got up several times.
And then she said it's my fault though.
What's your fault?
Everything.
Yeah, everything is your fault. Always has been, always will.
Hence, backing up my statement, if a tree falls in the woods and nobody is there to hear it, is it still the husband's fault?
Right. It's always your fault. And I absolutely love that Dave said don't buy leeks anymore because they're dumb.
Shut up, Dave.
No, I did not say don't buy leeks. I said shallots are dumb.
Oh, shallots.
Unless you're doing something that's specific to needing shallots, to just buy shallots as an onion replacement.
Hamburgers are specific.
Yeah. Needing shallots. But you know what? You can do the same thing with a red onion.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't have any red onions. We had shallots.
Yeah,
but you were at the store. You bought shallots. You could have bought a red onion for a fraction of the price.
And I want to go back to all that. It's not about not having Scotty with. It's that I end up with so much stuff in the cart. I spent $400
just yesterday.
On nothing yesterday.
Hey, look who's here. I got to break in with
right now, and it's really hard when we're doing banquets to not blow.
I'm going to get rid of this header band I got on here. Hold on, Chris.
I'm waiting, brother.
All right.
There's a great lad himself.
Yeah. How are you doing, laddie?
Very well, thank you.
You'd think we were from Aberdeen if you didn't know better.
We would. And what a fine
we had a lovely Scottish day here on Friday. Nice soft weather. Or no, it was Thursday. Nice soft weather.
Yes.
Fantastic. We've had quite nice weather for a change.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we had, now, of course, you do Celsius over there, but we had 80 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit over summer weather last week. Then we had a snowstorm after it.
The next day. The next day.
My God, are you guys in Scotland?
Yeah. Scotland and Wisconsin and Minnesota, all variable weather depending on Mother Nature's mood. So
fantastic.
I was giving people a little background about how I know you, about our big trip of fame to Egypt.
Yes. And, fantastic times.
Outstanding times.
Exactly.
You may recognize him. I mentioned that you did a stint for a couple of years, couple of seasons on Most Haunted.
Yes, it did.
That's got to be like 10, 12 years ago, something like that.
Scotty, you're making me feel old.
But it was a good show. I liked it.
It was a good show. I enjoyed it. Folks, this is Chris Conway. He's a dear friend, dear to my heart, lives over in Scotland. Well, he's from Scotland.
I still live in Scotland.
From Scotland. My daughter, Abby, as I mentioned, traveled on a trip all on her own just to go see Scotland. And she visited Chris and his wife over there. And,
she did.
Had a good time. My daughters absolutely love you. So
your daughters are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So
we all had some good times in Egypt.
We sure did.
We have some funny stories from Egypt.
Oh man, especially the one. It wasn't funny at the moment, but we sure got a lot of mileage out of it. Chris tripped over something in the doorway of the temple at Edfu, and we thought he broke his leg, his ankle bone, or bone above his ankle, and it swelled all up and turned purple. He went to the doctor there in Egypt. I don't know what that was like.
It was a strange place, the old hospital.
I always wonder because I saw a dentist shop in Egypt. I think it was in a store, and the doctor came out and he's dressed in an apron like a butcher, like a butcher. Here, I'll say it so you understand it. He was like a butcher. And,
thank you very much for that.
And he had blood spatters on his apron, and he had long black, like leather or something kind of gloves.
Yeah.
And and we're like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get my teeth fixed until I get back to the States.
How do you think I felt? I got took to the hospital. In Egypt, they don't have ambulances, do they? I went on the back of a horse and cart.
That's right.
my ankle twice the size. They took me to the hospital, and it was full of. It looked like the kind of place that we would use for a ghost hunt. There was windows cracked. There was people just lying everywhere. And then I went on a wheelchair, and the man that took me says to me, "Hold this piece of string." And I said, "Why?" He says, "Because if you don't hold it, the wheelchair's going to fall apart. It's holding the wheels on." So
nice. This is while we take you in for emergency surgery.
At this point, I was thinking, I don't think this is going to be straightforward. So when we went to what I'd imagine is the room where they do the X-rays,
yeah,
and it was the craziest experience ever, because there was just random Egyptians walking in and arguing with the doctor, and so then
in Arabic. So far.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me just ask: was the X-ray a really bright flashlight with a 35 millimeter on the other?
Yeah,
I think that would actually be a bit too modern.
And so Chris, he fell at the store. We helped him hobble up the stairs because the temple at Edfu was all buried in the middle of the town, and they dug it out. It's a big pit to get down to this temple and a big stairway. So we went up the stairway. Now, didn't you get back in like the next day or the next couple of? It was like your leg was
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, basically they carried me out and put me onto this horse and cart, took me to the hospital, full speed ahead, about 4 miles per hour, and we finally got to the hospital. They X-rayed it, told me that it was broken, there was a crack in it, which I found. That's fine. So they carried me out, carried me back down. The Egyptians all standing there watching me because they shit themselves from me anyway, because they thought I was the evil incarnate. So I'll let you take it up from there.
well, your leg got better, like miraculously. The rest of the 2 weeks.
It was the next morning.
What's that?
It was the next morning, if you remember.
Oh, the next morning.
I came hobbling up in the middle of the night. I thought, I cannot be doing a tour with a broken leg on a cast. So through the night, me being me, I spent the night creating some sort of knife to try and pull this plaster cast off. I managed to rip it off, and I thought, right, I'm either going to
shiv.
Yeah. So I thought, I'm either going to put my weight on this and collapse, or it's going to be absolutely perfect. So I says to Spirit, "Come on, guys, you need to carry me through." Put my weight on it, and it was absolutely fine. So if you remember, the next morning I came hobbling up with my crutches, because if you remember the night before, I tried to get down the stairs with my crutches, and I fell halfway down. I just couldn't use the crutches, so I nearly broke my neck. Because we were on the boat, weren't we? So the next morning, if you remember, I came up as for our usual radio show, and I pretended that I threw my crutches away, which I thought would be a great joke. You guys took it as a great joke. We all laughed and got on with our lives. And unfortunately, the Egyptians, who were already terrified of me, thought that I was now an evil demon. They took turns at coming up to touch my foot.
They did.
Are you all guys there?
Yeah.
You are healed. We must touch your foot.
Hello.
And so, can you hear us, Chris?
Did we lose your audio?
I think my camera died there.
No, we still see you.
You're here.
You're here.
They did. They took turns about us with, because I think you guys, you and John created a new religion, didn't you?
Yes. All I remember.
Yeah, if you remember, you guys created a new religion.
Yeah. Yes, you're a legend. And I remember.
Yes, sort of. It's breaking in and out. Can you guys hear me?
We can. Yes, we can. We still hear you.
And see you.
But I remember when we
Right, hold on. I may have touched the button.
Okay.
Right, okay, let me.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Can you hear us?
Can you guys?
Uh-oh.
The phone overheated.
Chris, you can go out and come back in. We'll try that.
What part of English accent is that?
He's Scotland. From Scotland. He's not part of any English accent.
Oh, I was going to say, that sounds like a whole lot like the guys over here. It's like, yeah, because we were talking about that last night.
Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, we lost Chris.
Don't call him English.
What's he going to do? Spanish.
So hopefully Chris will just try back again and he can get back in. But I was going to say, and I wanted to save this for when he could hear it, but John Ward's daughter, his 18-year-old daughter at the time, she had a dream or some kind of sleep thing. She and my daughters and some of the other women were in one tent, and all the guys were in another tent and other tents. And we were at Sarabat el-Khadim, this mountain in the Sinai. And we were guests of Sheikh Barakat. And Bryony Ward, who is John Ward's daughter, my daughter said she sat up in the middle of the night. Oh, here's Chris. Let's see if we can get him back in. There he is. There he is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you and see you.
Well, hey!
Now, I was just talking about Bryony's dream or vision or whatever it was that happened the day before you injured your leg, or 2 days before.
Yes.
We were at Sarabat el-Khadim, and she's in the tent with my daughters, and she wakes up in the middle of the night. Well, doesn't really wake up. She sits up, and my daughters heard her, and she yells out, "Beware beware the tattooed man! Don't go through the door! Don't go through the door!" And then she lays down and falls back asleep. And my daughter's like, "Oh, that was weird." And we laughed about it. But then a couple of days later, what happens? Chris trips through the door at the Edfu Temple and breaks his leg.
Over the spirit of a tattooed man.
And we kept saying the rest of the trip, "Don't go through the door." So, by the way, Chris, let me introduce you to a couple of other people who are here. Wendy, my dear friend over there.
Hi, Wendy.
Wendy, she's a Londoner. She lives in London, so she's a cousin of sorts.
Oh, I have a son in London.
You are your reputation.
Know quite a bit about you, Chris. We know people in similar circles.
Hi.
And this is Michael. He's from Virginia. Virginia. So you're gonna have to listen close when he talks. He's got that. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Perfect. Perfect.
Because you were on Most Haunted, weren't you, Chris?
Hi, Michael. Pleased to meet you as well.
Pleased to meet you, Chris.
We might have a little lag here.
Oh,
yeah, I was just saying you were on Most Haunted, eh, Chris?
Chris.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I was on that for a couple of years.
I have to say, I don't have any love for Most Haunted because
yes, it was. I was a resident medium on there for.
I knew the other guy, the Liverpoolian guy, Derek Okora. I met Derek Okora a couple of times, and I knew quite a few people that were on and off round Most Haunted, and a lot of people didn't have a lot of time for it. Because
did you know Richard Felix, Wendy?
Yeah, I've met Richard. Yeah.
I always liked Richard.
Nice guy, yes. And there's another one. He used to do all the. He was on right from the start. Oh my God, his name escapes me. He used to come with all. He used to write all the things down and come up with all the information. It's going to bug me now. I'm going to find his name. He actually wrote the foreword for Mark's book.
Can't think of who that is.
What was his name?
I liked Kieran O'Keefe.
That's
Did you
the
get
one.
to work
That's
with
it.
Kieran O'Keefe a lot, Chris? Was Kieran still in? I think he was still in there when you were there.
Kieran.
He was the parapsychologist. Oh no.
Oh no.
We got a bad overseas connection there with Chris.
Yeah, it's
He's about 500 miles north of you, Wendy.
I first saw Scotty
in the country. No, what I was saying is Kieran O'Keefe, I know because he wrote Mark's foreword on Mark's book, but he told me quite a lot of stories about Most Haunted and about how a lot of it was fake.
Oh, Kieran?
Yeah, a lot of it was fake and done for the television. I'm not saying all of it was, because obviously I wasn't there, but a lot of it was. And it's such a shame, because when that show first came out, it was like, groundbreaking, and it had such a good concept. But as time went on, it was like, oh, Derek Acorah's been, taken over again, or this has happened again. It really kind of went down. Such a shame.
I had a lot of issues with Derek.
Yeah. I met him. He's very nice.
I'm feeling him. He's here. He's present with me. I feel him. And Derek Acorah. Now,
but they were another show that was really good for you. Hear a noise, or someone would just freak and go, "Oh, look over there!" And by the time the camera would, pan and move, then there'd be nothing there.
To be honest, it's got such a bad reputation, and also the people that run the show on social media, they're not the nicest, not the friendliest, and it's a shame, because the whole psychic movement should be more spiritual and more friendly, but sadly a lot of it isn't. It's very in your face, behind your back. And I loved Most Haunted with Derek when it first started, but as it went on, more stories came out, and you would just be like,
Derek did a Haunted Egypt series after that. I hope Chris tries to come back in. I hope he can. Like to spend a little more time with him, and
just to be clear, Chris wasn't involved with the show. No. After, they let Derek go for a reason, because it was.
Well, the thing is, if you're involved now, look, now people look back, and if you were involved with Most Haunted, there was that kind of like, oh, you were.
There
really
he is.
Involved. It's a shame, because, as I said, when it came out, great context, but.
Hey guys. I'm back again.
You're back again.
Yay!
We're just talking about Most Haunted a little bit. Did you I know you worked there with Kieran O'Keefe, was there for quite a while.
Yeah.
I always respected him. I liked his take on things. I still find him very respectable. Did you have a good relationship with Kieran and some of the other people?
Yeah, Kieran and I got on great. We were good chums. We had a lot of fun. We're still friends today.
That's good. I know Kieran. I met him for the first time over here in like 2009 or 10 at an event, and so we hit it off pretty well. And we don't like keep in touch, like, hey, how's the kids and stuff, but we do talk every now and then. So I do like Kieran a lot. He wrote for the magazine a bit. So,
but that's like, she's just talking about how things are made for TV, and they bring it and they bring it in, and they start rotating things for TV.
Yeah,
that's like Mountain Monsters. That's from my neck of the woods and all that, and they put everybody with the hats turned up and the bib overalls, and and like I said, not
that's for TV,
but this poor guy was so old and big. I don't see how they got him out of the truck. He's not running through the mountains of Virginia and West Tennessee, because we have unforgiving hills here. We really do. I'm thinking, a toddler could escape this man, much less a cryptic. And I'm thinking,
by the way, Chris Conway, if you're still out there and you hear us, keep trying to come in as long as you got time to do it. So,
Uncle Dave, you got something hanging over the corner of your camera over there.
I was going to tell you that you got
it's the new mount I have. It's mounted upside down, and I didn't realize until we were coming on, and I'm not gonna dick around with it today.
Is that red shorts you have on, Uncle Dave?
What?
Is those red shorts that you've got on?
They are. I haven't worn pants since Thursday.
That's his love shorts.
I've been in the studio just painting Friday and Saturday, and.
Well, Chris,
I was going to say I got the same color boxers.
I got to see if we're lagging or if we're on the right time here.
Right. Well, I'm here again. The problem is I'm in a co-op car park, which is a store here. A store with lots of funny stories I could tell you, but I don't have time. But you know me, Scotty. I love a funny story.
Yes.
But yeah. The thing from Egypt, which I love, the memory that you and I had in Egypt, I love the day we sat and I communicated with Spirit for you. We solved a few puzzles, and I hold that memory very dear to my heart.
That was at Saqqara
Yes.
Where we did that, and that's where I think I sent you those photos somewhere along the way that I caught from the year earlier with that black figure coming out from behind the stonework. And I believe I sent you those. Did you see those?
The message you sent me, I saw them you sent me them in February. I saw them this morning, which is quite good for me, you have to be honest.
That's all right. I'm the same way.
Look, I got a message from Scotty.
So I had that same stone that you and I sat on was the stone where that took place. That vision is all I can call it, from a year earlier. But I was, for a friend about 6-7 years ago, was going through it doesn't seem that long ago, going through my photos from Saqqara, and I saw that figure emerging from behind the stone wall. Then he wasn't there in the next photo. And all black, you saw him from the shoulder, part of the neck and the shoulder down, and then faded off. And it just had an eerie quality about it. And I was going to ask you what you thought of that. So,
yes, I've not had a proper chance because I only spotted the messages when I came on to organise me coming on to have a catch up with you. You know what I'm like, Scotty. I'm absolutely awful when it comes to messages. I forget to open them, and that's the problem. And then I go to message somebody and I think, oh, I really should be reading these things.
Well, I get so many messages, and a lot of them are people, I got to share this video with you. And I'm like,
yeah, that's the problem.
I'd be sitting all day watching videos.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you get a lot of messages, and then messages from good friends, like I love everybody that sends me messages, don't get me wrong, but there's messages from close friends who they end up getting lost. And unless you're sitting in front of your Facebook, then, because you know yourself, messages you're getting, like, I don't know how many a day, but a lot, and you only get like 7 or 8 on the little window, and anything below that, if you don't see it coming in, you lose. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's it. And I miss a lot of messages out there because of that.
That's my fault. I send him 4 or 5 a day.
Look at this. Chris, what are you up to these days? I see a lot of your things that if I were closer, I'd certainly come. You do events at
yes, I do events. I do still do most of the medium stuff that I've always done. I like to organise my own events now because I can do it the way I like to do it. To me, a ghost hunt should be full of laughter, scares. It's the laughter's what gets the energy. And when I'm hired in by other people, a lot of the time they don't like laughter. They like seriousness, which in a ghost hunt, you struggle because you're going to hit the wall. And once you hit that wall, unless you've got a cheeky wee Scotsman to say something funny, you're going to get bored. so that's sort of what I'm doing at the moment. And I take life day by day. You know me, Scotty. I've never changed.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I want to get over there. And Wendy and I have talked about doing some filming over there. Wendy and I have a little show we do every Tuesday together. Robertson. I'm Roberts. She's Robertson. And so we do our little show every Tuesday. And we've talked about coming over and filming with her friend Mark.
Mark English. Nice guy.
Yep, and maybe even Uncle Dave. And so doing some castles and things over there. And my first thought was hooking up with you and say, we got to get Chris Conway in on this.
Yeah, you know me. I'm never far away, Scotty, when you're about. I just want to say to everybody watching, the lovely guy that you see on that screen, Scotty, is actually the way that man is. A lot of people can come over nice on a TV screen and they're not nice off it. But I want to just say that this man here is an absolute diamond.
Thank you. That's what my wife says.
Yeah.
Did you say an absolute tyrant?
Scotty Raini actually paid me to say it.
We had that conversation last night about, you know, if you're a fan of somebody or something like that, sometimes when you finally meet them in person,
yeah,
they kill all of it. Because man, Scotty was talking about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know,
yeah,
it's like, hey, you know, let me help you out here.
Yeah.
Well, that's none of your whatever. And it's like, wow,
Yeah.
really? And you're taken aback because you see them and you have such a, you know, you follow the character or whatever they portray on TV. Then when you
Yeah.
meet them, they're an asshole. And
well, in real life, there was another time in Egypt. And this is the only time Chris and I have spent time together in person, face to face, was 2 weeks in Egypt. And so I got a lot of stories. But there was that time where we're riding in the boat across Lake Nasser, going to Abu Simbel, or it was just after Abu Simbel, I don't know which. But it's where they flooded the Nile there. They built the big Aswan Dam and flooded, and it's this huge, enormous lake down there now. And my daughter Abby was taking the video of Chris talking to her, and he was trying to teach her how to attract crocodiles. He says, what we got to do, he says, put a little poke in your finger and drip the blood over the side of the boat. And Abby said, oh, that's how you do it? He goes, oh, yeah.
all right.
She wouldn't try. I don't know why.
She wouldn't try it.
But I got a question. When you're in Egypt and all that, when you have the spirit come through, there's two mediums in here, and I always got to ask, and I'm not making light of it because, like I said, Wendy knows I take all this stuff very serious. But when you hear a voice, is it speaking in Aramaic, Egyptian, or does it come through in English or Scottish or
any spirit that doesn't speak your native tongue will communicate via images. I've heard a lot of bullshit about this universal language, which it's bullshit if I'm honest. It's that they'll communicate in images. That's the best way they can do it. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I communicate back with images. And it's the same with people that couldn't speak on this earth. They're not going to come and start chatting away to you either. So it's all images.
Oh, and that to me is really interesting, because I asked that question of you when we were there, and because I can only imagine, because I don't pick this stuff up, that they speak to you and language doesn't matter. They're conveying their thoughts, their energies, and you pick that up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
and,
it's all images, and that's the.
I got to tell people, and I've mentioned this before in telling the story, but when Chris is sitting there with me, and I said, you know, I had this vision here last year. He says, I'm picking up an ancient Egyptian man, and for you, and he's naked. And I said, oh, great. I said, I got the great Chris Conway here, and he's picking up a naked Egyptian man, an ancient one, nonetheless. He said, Chris was, he's wearing a nappy. And I said, nappy, folks, if you don't know, I'll translate. That is Scottish diaper. And I said, you think it's maybe a loincloth? And he said, oh, yeah, probably that. And so we had some just really neat information come out of that one. And then about him showing me the ruby when we were back in Luxor, the same guy. Chris said he doesn't want to give you his name until he knows he can trust you. And but he feels connected to you. You think the way he thinks. And that's why he's drawn to you. And Chris was the one that told me, he told Chris that he'll only be attached to me in Egypt, but he'll never leave Egypt. Which I had different things occurred. And I may have written you about this one where I reached out to him to see if he would communicate with me from here. And I got something. And it was very strong. It was that, folks, you've heard this story before listening, but that story where Rocky and I and John are heading to a haunted location here in the States. And I reached out to him and said, can you hear me from there? I said, I feel almost silly asking, but can you hear me from there? And if you can, would you be able to offer protection? And I felt like it was like one of those Egyptian statues, where they've got the arms wrapped around somebody and the head beneath their chin. And I actually felt that over me. It was palpable and overpowering that you're protected. So,
although after saying they're hospitals, I wouldn't trust getting protection from an Egyptian. They better have lots of babies.
yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of good memories from Egypt.
We do. Listen, Scotty, I need to go. I have football today. I know that in America, our football is actually a ball that touches the foot. It's a ball that touches the foot. I know that you guys, your football touches the hand. So
yes.
You tell me who's the crazy ones.
Hey, at least I don't sit on the wrong side of the car. I had this conversation a lot. She's
yeah.
I was like, yeah, on the wrong side of the road and the wrong side of the car. Yeah.
So, Chris, it's so great seeing you. It's so great having you on. And tell people where they can find you if they want to talk to you.
At the moment, just if they hit me up on Facebook, that's usually where I am. Yeah.
And I think Chris Conway has a Chris Conway site too. So don't start asking Chris Conway Jr. about your future.
Yes. Don't ask Chris about anything to do with spirituality, because all Chris cares about is business. He wouldn't care. So I shall let you guys go, and I shall leave you with love and enjoy the rest of your show. And we need to have a proper catch up, Scotty.
We do. We need to catch up. I love you, brother. I miss you.
Love you, brother. Miss you too.
Have a grand day.
Talking again. You have a fun day.
Have a grand day, all you guys too. Playing football.
yes, football with your feet.
Bye, guys.
See you, Chris.
Soccer.
All right, guys.
Soccer, yes.
That was Chris Conway. So just an amazing fellow. I love Chris. Had a great time with him, and that was 9 years ago when we were in Egypt together. So that was a lot of fun. Now I got to give Raini some time to talk. I'm going to go warm up my tea. I'm out of coffee, so I'm drinking tea this morning. I'm feeling very British this morning.
What
tea are you drinking?
I'm drinking that bourbon vanilla tea.
Not an English one. That's for sure.
The positivity.
Got caffeine.
Is it got caffeine?
Yeah.
I'll go take a look at that. Maybe I'll ramp up with some of that. For the moment, I give you Raini.
Yay!
And you can all converse with her. Keep them excited, Raini.
I'll do my best.
Slide over into the big seat, and hey, you get to go into the captain's seat.
Right. His seat's not comfortable. I'll just push it over there.
So we don't need that.
Right.
All right, Randy, let me ask you a question. I never get to talk to you. What did you think about the last episode of Picard? Because that's what last night.
I didn't watch it.
Didn't watch it?
No, Scotty and I started with the first season. We got like 3 episodes in, and then he took away with the rest, and I haven't had a chance to see any other.
Hold out for
bastard.
I'm the one who watches the kids and does stuff for kids and takes kids everywhere. I don't have time to watch. And then when I put stuff on, I put on murder shows. I run all the serial killer stuff in the background when I'm doing stuff in the house.
Just taking notes and getting ideas.
Right? Swamp killers?
At night, though.
We have 2 women here. And I have noticed a lot of women watch like Dateline, and they're so fascinated about women, or what was the other one, when women snap or something like that. My mom used to watch it, and I kept looking at my dad. And I was like, "Yeah, you keep fucking up by the numbers,
right?
You know, taking notes and names and numbers. Oh, I need this kind of stuff to go with this, and it took them that long to find it. I got this long to make my escape." So, what is the appeal with the murder shows?
For me, it's just stuff in the background. So when I'm working, I can hear it, and I don't have to stop to watch. There's not really visuals because it's more of a storytelling.
Just taking down tips.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not to be like
put the
swamp,
rat poison in the
swamp
tea.
killers
Oh, okay.
or swamp
Okay.
murders are like the best murders ever, and they have a whole series dedicated to swamp murders.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Tuesday at
Arsenic
9.
always goes better in tea because they just assume it's like an almond blend, and so it doesn't stand out. And you can put the little almond cookies with it.
I always heard that if you got the Optrix, I shouldn't really say this, but if you got the Optrix eye drops and put 9 drops of them in a tea, it would kill someone. That's what I heard. And so if anyone ever brings you Optrix eye drops,
just saying,
keep them out of harm's way. But that's what I heard.
They bring on symptoms of a heart attack, so that's what they just assume you die of. Yeah.
Horrible.
I know if you don't tip your waitress and you're an asshole, they can drop eye drops in your drink and it gives you the eye drops will ruin your night and you miss skivvies.
Well, if you do too many of the eye drops, it will mimic the effects of a heart attack and you can die.
Very.
Okay. She says, what kind of chickens do you have, Raini? Elderberry.
Chickens? I don't have any more chickens. We haven't had chickens in probably 5 years. I don't even remember. I think we just had the brown layers.
The brown chicken?
Yeah.
No Rhode Island Reds. No, what about the
Ellery loved to carry them around.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
Yep. And they knew that I left the door open for the dog, the sliding door open, like this much for the dog. And so they would come in the house and be pecking at the dog food. It was fun. I miss chickens.
I got a friend here. She has a pet chicken and named it Blue because, chickens are supposed to be like the last thing close to a dinosaur. And then her and the kids named it Blue after the
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. And,
or Jurassic World.
And the first time I met this chicken, this thing came over and she held her wings up for me to pick her up.
Oh, that's cute.
I thought this is a smart damn chicken. I always eat them, with honey, like chicken.
I always thought of chickens as being dumb, but
they're not.
They're smart. Well, when we had ours, we had 24, and they would hear the car coming and the driveway. You come up to the top and down the driveway, and they would come running up the driveway to meet the car. They knew that if we were coming home, there was some sort of snack in the car for them, whether it was a cheese ball or a Cheeto or a French fry, that kids would drop stuff. So as soon as I got the kids out of the car, I'd be flinging whatever treats they dropped. And those chickens loved when we came home.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I think people underestimate any kind of animals, farm animals or domestic dogs or whatever. And like I said, this thing stays beside me all the time. She is glued to me.
Yeah.
My mum always said chickens are like the best guard dogs, ducks and chickens, because, anyone that comes in that they don't recognize, they make such a noise and they can really go for you, like especially the rooster. They go with you with the feet all guns blazing. So, I mean, they are they're pretty savvy.
And they all, so when we had ours, I used to sleep with the window open all year long. I'd sleep with the window open because if you could start hearing them in the middle of the night, starting with that, you knew something was close, and then they would start to get louder and louder. And then I would usually go outside and holler to get the coyotes away or whatever was out there.
My neighbor had chickens, and when I was young, and I remember seeing these poor creatures run around the garden. They were, with their necks wrung, and their nerves were still going. And it was horrific memory as a youngster. Like, I didn't realize they were going to do that when I was out in the garden, but they'd obviously gone in the garden, they'd rung them. And it was like, wow, that's just stayed with me forever. Those poor things running around because of the nerves.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on a farm and we used to butcher chickens. And I remember one point asking my grandpa, I'm like, do they really run around after you cut the heads off?
Oh, yeah.
He put the chicken down and it started running after me, and I was running, but I was laughing, and he was laughing because it's like, how does this chicken know where to find me? And I didn't want to get blood.
That's where the saying comes, running around with like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yep.
I had the same thing. My grandmother, she had a hatchet and she had one block because, like I said, we would butcher the chickens, and everybody's talking. I didn't know how well we ate, but we had free range chicken, free range beef, free range pork. Right. And that's what I'll tell you, like I said, a lot of times, the small circle we have such a diverse background.
Yeah.
And, my grandmother's like, hey, catch that one. I don't like that one today. And if you come up on her shit list as a chicken, you got moved up to pecking order to get your head chopped off to be put in the Sunday pot. But yeah, she'd grab them up and she'd she'd poke them and they'd stick their head out and she'd go, take it, and she'd toss it over, and it'd be like but it pumps all the blood out. And
See, my mum had them in the war because she used to have. They were great for eggs, and then the neighbours that would never talk to you would suddenly knock on the door and go, "Terribly sorry to bother you, but can we buy some eggs off for you?" And then my obviously getting a chicken back then was really not that easy, but obviously mum, they were careful that someone didn't come in the garden and take one. And then one day my mum came home and they all had names. All these chickens had names, and my mum come home and there was a chicken gone. And my nan served up chicken that night, right?
Aww. We cooked up Bob.
And my nan said to my mum, "Go on, tuck in." And my mum said, "Where'd you get this chicken from?" "Well, your granddad got it in the shop." She went, "Why is whatever her name is, Miss Fluff, missing? Why is Miss Fluff missing?" We don't know. She said, "That's Miss Fluff. I'm not in it." And my mum sat there with her arms folded. She refused to eat it because they butchered one of the chickens, and it was
all part of the circle of life, baby.
The great circle of life. They were her pets, and obviously like the cats back in the war as well.
Don't make friends with the food.
When I had to cut the heads off chickens, I let the chicken drop into a bucket because I didn't want to chase it around the yard. And Leslie says that's how Andy does it too. I remember Rainey and I one time we butchered a chicken. Now I think it already had its head cut off.
Yeah, Mac brought them in with the heads cut off.
The heads were already cut off, but we had to pull all the feathers out. We were both in.
I was fine up until a freaking spider came out, and then it was like,
we're just going to skin it.
We're just skinning this chicken, and we're done.
We're done. We
when we were with Clan Tartan
killers, we had on the big aprons and the big gloves, or an Egyptian dentist. So
back when we were doing Clan Tartan, the ladies got a deal on chickens. One of them was a farmer, and I think we had something like 40 chickens they brought to us in cages. And the girls were like, we're gonna slaughter all the chickens and we'll freeze them and then we'll have them all year long. And this is like in January or February. So everything is snow covered. And they started by trying to, butcher them and pluck them, and they decided that was taking too long. So they just split the skin because they were going to skin them anyways for cooking. So they just literally just pulled the whole carcass out of the skin. But by the time we were done, that backyard was just red with blood on that snow. And it looked like someone had been murdered out there.
So where did the spider come from?
The feathers. It was inside the feathers.
There you go, Steph.
Yeah. My grandmother, she'd always have a really scalding hot 5-gallon bucket of water, and you take the feet and you stick the whole chicken in there. And
that's how we started.
Yeah. Then when you pluck the feathers, and then they started getting hard to come out of the skin, you dumped it back in the bucket.
Yeah. When I was younger, that's what we did. We had the big bucket.
It wasn't that it was hard to pluck the chickens. It was that with 40 some chickens, we decided the mess and everything was going to be so much that nobody wanted to put that much time into it.
Right. Well, by the way, I just got my other cup of tea. It's still what's the word? Not steeping. But I was drinking this stuff earlier. Black cask bourbon tea.
That looks good.
It was very good. Smoky.
If you want to judge a book by its cover, which I do often.
Smoky black tea with vanilla and caramel, and caramel. And I like this. I bought this because I like the look of it and the sound of it. So
where'd you find that?
I don't remember. Grocery store, probably.
Walmart.
Hey,
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Walmart thing. So I got that. And then Rainey said, try the, what'd you call it?
The positivity.
Positivity. It's vitality. Vitality, it's called. I couldn't find a positivity. Okay. I went through all our teas up there just now. We got about 30 boxes of different brands of tea. Everything from chamomile, which I know I didn't need, stress relief tea.
Well, there's nettle and dandelion.
Boner tea.
That was very good.
You know we have boner tea?
Do we have boner tea?
We do.
I've got digestion
is
tea
that
with
Boner
black
Teas?
cider vinegar, or it was blackberry and apple cider vinegar.
So I grabbed the rich and robust morning vitality tea. So I'm trying that one out now with adaptogens. What the hell is an adaptogen?
Mushrooms.
You will be assimilated. To support overall health.
Anything to try to get Scotty drugged out on something without him knowing. No.
Contains caffeine.
Contains caffeine.
This one's real almondy.
Right? I can't drink coffee anymore. It just rips my guts apart. So tea. Lots of tea.
So I can drop that over here in the wastebasket.
And Dave, did you
I want to try your mushroom stuff.
Yeah, the rasa.
Oh, I saw that stuff. I thought, ooh, should I try the mushroom tea? No, not yet.
You can. It just needs to
That must be the one with 100% Viagra. Yes, it's 100 proof Viagra.
Yeah, that's what.
Look out, Rainy. Shooting it down now.
Yeah. Easy, tiger.
Yes, it. Say on a Sunday. Yeah, the Lord's Day. Yeah.
Mushroom. Yeah, I must admit, I'm allergic to mushrooms, so I can't actually touch them. But
I will tell you, by the way, after 18 years of marriage, well, 15, 16 years of marriage, after 18 years together, all I have to do is say, "Hey, Rainy, I got a boner," and she'll go, "Uh-huh."
Uh-huh.
They wash it while all the wrinkles are out of it, right?
Yeah.
But the
That's
mushrooms.
what I said. Resistance is fertile.
Yeah, that's right.
But mushrooms taste like dirt to me. It don't matter what kind of mushroom it is. They have a earthy dirt taste to me. And somebody said, "Oh, yeah."
That's the point.
They are fungus, you know.
Well, you can take. They put mushrooms in capsules, so you can still take them without having to taste. But because my ferritin and iron are so low, I love the taste of dirt.
Mud pies. Yeah, mud pies.
Yep.
She keeps licking me. What are you licking? You taste like dirt.
I keep eating the dirt.
Oh, Scotty, you taste so dirty today.
It's so dirty today.
To get me in the mood, he just goes and rolls in the mud.
I just tell her I taste dirty today.
Uncle Dave, did you see us talking about your beard last night?
Yeah.
We
did.
About how we all want to give that a little tug, right?
You can come and relieve my stress if you want.
And is it soft? Do you put beard oil on it and stuff?
Do you
my
use
audio's
beard
going
oil
wonky.
and
What?
Beard oil and
he runs a flat iron through it. He does the flat iron and the hair dryer. And
and Leslie said my kids call mushrooms erasers.
Click on it.
They're it's like chewing on one.
Like
but see,
chewing on an eraser.
That's when you freeze your mushrooms instead of cooking them fresh. If you don't cook mushrooms fresh, they are chewy and nasty and gross.
I made a spaghetti sauce the other night without spaghetti sauce. We got a bunch of tomatoes. We had like 50 tomatoes. And so I cut up a bunch of, I blanched them first. That was Rainy's thing. You got to blanch those tomatoes. I'm like, oh, God.
He still doesn't understand it. How you boil it, you drop it in until the skin splits and you take it out. And what did you do? You boil them until the skin split?
Yeah, and
I don't know how after 20 years
I've never blanched tomatoes.
I've made you do it before.
And she wasn't giving me any direction. She just blanched those or I won't eat them. I'm like, come on. So I blanched them.
I won't eat
the skin and the seeds. They're not good for you.
No.
So it still had seeds in them.
Yeah, you need to seed them.
That you can't
peel the skins and take the seeds out, and then they won't give you problems.
Tomatoes, a bunch of tomatoes, and I threw in fresh mushrooms, chopped them up, threw them in.
With no salt or spices.
With no salt. I did put some spice on it. I put a little garlic on them. I put some oregano.
You're supposed to put more than 1 grain of garlic on them.
Well, I used garlic powder. I didn't smash a garlic. I didn't have a whole garlic.
Fresh garlic is cut up in the fridge on the top shelf.
The things I don't know about our own house. So
crush 4 or 5.
Oh, it's one in the jar.
Yeah.
Cloves and then
jar of chopped garlic.
I only eat the special shrooms, but I have to put a piece of hamburger with toppings to kill the taste. Special.
What kind of special, Steph?
Yeah, when you start seeing the leprechauns run around, you got the right mushroom.
not psilocybin.
Had spaghetti made with those. It was all the spaghetti you could eat or play with.
Is it? Yeah.
When I finished
all the spaghetti you could eat or play with.
My certification at Aveda, we had a big gathering of the whole class, and they made spaghetti with a whole bunch of weed in it. And they baked it and not baked it, but
she's got jars of beets all over the place. You get jars of beet in the fridge, some of them canned and in the cupboard.
Oh, I love pickled beets.
I hate beets. I absolutely
I can't eat beets either. It's just something that just my mom loves them. My dad loves them. Everybody in my family likes them. I can't do them.
Beets and Brussels sprouts.
It's like sweet dirt. Oh, I could eat a whole jar.
Brussels sprouts are fine. I don't have a problem with them, but beets.
The pickled beets, I can eat a lot of the pickled beets, but just like a cooked beet, I don't want nothing to do with it.
See, now I can eat pickled herring. I like pickled herring.
Well, that's the Nordic ancestry.
When I was a little kid, they always had it at the adults' Christmas parties and stuff. Oh, pickled herring. That and deviled eggs. Here. Deviled eggs and pickled herring. Those were the things that hooked me when I was a kid.
You know, and the farts really the next day. Oh my God.
Deviled eggs.
Who makes really good deviled eggs?
Ellery.
Oh yeah, I've had some of her deviled eggs. My own daughter, my 8-year-old.
I don't think I've ever had deviled eggs actually.
That's when you hard boil them, you know.
Yeah.
You cut them in half. You take out the hard boiled yolk.
Let me write that down.
Smash them all the yolks up, and you mix in what?
A little bit of mustard, a little bit of mayo, some dill, a little bit of garlic,
and then you put them back in the egg white halves.
Oh, see, we just do that.
I like to put them into a piping bag and pipe them back into the halves. But
we do egg mayonnaise sandwiches, and we do that. We take the egg and we put pepper and salt and mayonnaise and salad cream, and we beat it up, and then we make it into sandwiches.
Salad cream.
It's very much like an egg salad recipe, except that you're just doing that with the yolks.
Whip or something like that.
That's probably what salad cream is.
Salad cream. You haven't got salad cream over there?
Is that like Miracle Whip
or mayonnaise?
Yeah, Miracle Whip.
No, it's really different to mayonnaise. Very different.
Sour cream.
Spicy. It's more sort of it's hard to describe, isn't it? Salad cream.
We'll have to look for some of that.
Have a look for Heinz salad cream.
Salad cream.
I'm not putting any cream on my salad.
That's like when I say, Raini, would you like a salad today? And she'll go, oh.
Well, listen, guys, I'm going to go because I literally only come on to say good morning. I'm going to go to the
I'm sure glad you did.
Well, that's okay. It's nice to see you both on looking all bright and breezy.
Is it dark there already? It looks dark in your window.
No, it's just the fact that my dog's having a bad dream. So if you hear him howling in a minute, you know why.
Okay. It's only like 4:30 over there in the afternoon.
We missed you last night, Scotty, on Val.
I forgot about it, and I didn't see it till it was already over.
Oh, you're not the only one.
We napped on the couch all night.
I fell asleep on the sofa somewhere in there. I had a salad for dinner. A salad with no salad cream.
No salad cream. No.
And I fell asleep while we're all watching TV. They were watching, Flynn and Raini were watching South Park.
Noted now.
Episode after episode. And I was just like, oh.
Oh my God, they had Ghost Hunters on there? Hilarious.
Oh, they did. Yeah, when South Park did Ghost Hunters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think secretly the inventors or the creators of South Park are all deeply conservative guys from the content they have on all those shows I was seeing go by. So
the first episode was great.
Which one was that one?
Where they take the scouts hiking in the mountains and kill everything with AK-47s. Big machine guns. Just,
nice.
Just going.
And what was the thing about
killing the goats?
Oh, women getting back at men who fart with queefs.
Yeah.
And it was like Flynn was dying, my 13-year-old boy. And the whole show was about that.
Terrence and Phillip were farting. That's their farting show that the kids watch. And they canceled the Terrence and Phillips to put on, it was like Catherine and something, the queefers.
And the South Park boys didn't like that at all.
No.
So anyway.
Are you going away this week, Scotty, or?
I'm going away this week. I'm going to be up at Andy's this week, starting tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm going to be writing up there for the week. and be back here by Friday. I'll probably do my show from up there, and I don't see why not, because Andy's a guy that he's always the early to bed, early to rise guy. He'll go to bed at 7:30. He and his wife go to bed, and it's like he just gets tired out at the end of the day, and he's up at like 5. So
and Scotty's like the early to rise, late to bed guy.
Yeah. Late to bed, early to rise. But I'm also the nappy time. Anytime I sit down in front of the TV, I'm like, oh, I did watch the finale of Picard last night. That was phenomenal.
How does it feel to be right? Because that's like I was telling Wendy, I was like, I want to send him a message and say, if you haven't followed, I'm getting ready to kill the finale for you.
It was phenomenal. And guys, if any of you like Star Trek, I will attest forevermore that so far, the 3rd season of Picard, 10 episodes, is probably the finest series of or a season of Star Trek made since Next Generation came out.
And I maintain, had they done that for season 1 of Picard and done 3 seasons of that, it would have been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that episode 9 was probably the best one out of
that was
3, because it was just, it kind of ticked every single box.
Yes,
at the end.
Special surprise in that one.
It kind of was a little bit of a, I don't want to say like let down the ending, because it was lovely. It ticked all the boxes, but I actually think episode 9, when they just brought that ship out and they brought it round, that for me was still.
That was amazing.
That was the most. I cried when I saw that, but I wanted to cry on this last episode, and I didn't, because I was like,
It was really good. It was over the top good, and I loved the very last scene as they're rolling credits, an overhead view of all of them sitting around the poker table.
Yeah,
which is what they did to relieve stress in the original series. They all played poker. So,
like I said, if anybody hasn't saw it, like I said, the new and it's going to bring in a whole new generation of.
Oh yeah,
and
it is.
And people.
Dave, have you seen any of it?
All of it.
Oh, okay. Did you see the finale?
Yep.
That's a setup if I ever saw one.
That's my Friday morning. So I don't watch it Thursday because of Lodge.
Yeah.
But Friday morning I get up before everyone else and I sit and watch my Star Trek.
Yeah, that is set up for the possibility of a brand new series. And like I say, when they have put that much money into building sets, you know something's coming.
Hashtag legacy. Everybody go out there and post that, because that'll get the people at Warner Brother actually looking at stuff.
I'm still curious what because every captain has his own saving to take the ship out or whatever. It's like engage or energize,
right.
And I'm kind of curious what Seven's moniker will be.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Assimilate.
Yeah, they cut her off.
Yeah,
so it was interesting. I saw a clip for the 2nd season of Captain Pike, Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
And as one of the engineer or the navigator turns over to him, Spock is in the con and says, everybody's got something, to make the ship go, engage or whatever. What's yours? And Spock looks and he says, make the ship go now. So
it's all about logic.
Yes.
It was very good though, but it was, I love the fact that they had, without ruining it for everybody that hasn't watched it, I love the fact that they had one of the main characters brought back for that.
Yes.
And obviously I don't believe it was them. It was the voice of them, right, that they used.
Right.
There was the voice. I think it was the actor. You're talking about you never saw him. You just heard, and it was the son of somebody.
Yeah. Without giving it away,
he came and did a voiceover.
And you don't want to be spoilers, but
I know.
It was.
And I thought,
very good.
I know him, or know who that is.
Oh, them.
I'll give you a hint. I never forget a face, but they didn't show his face. So
yeah.
Well, what channel is it on? It is on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And we get it on Thursday. In the UK, they get it on Fridays.
It's on Prime in the UK.
Prime, We have it Prime, and then you got to click into Paramount Plus on Prime.
Yeah, like I said, I was swore to secrecy because Quixit came out, and I was like, yeah, I got to watch this.
I didn't watch it straight away because we get ours on a Friday, so it was like, you know, I had to watch it. But as I said, for me, episode 9 was just so. It ticked every
moving
box, and when I got to 10, it was like you've done it all. You know, It was really good episode, but I just think when that ship come out, it was just like I went back to being what was it? How old? When did it come out? Next Generation? What year?
It came out before
you were born.
What one?
Before you were born.
88. Oh no,
no, 88.
Yeah, so we're talking like teenage years, and it was just like, oh my God, there it is again. And you know, it was lovely to see it, but I do think they could have ended it. Mind you, they did kind of leave it on a cliffhanger, didn't they? Did they not?
Yeah.
I kind of liken that scene to in The Next Generation during its run, where Scotty is brought aboard the new Enterprise. He'd been caught in a transporter matrix for years, been missing in action. Yeah. And they bring him in, and he's got a bottle of scotch, and he wanders to the holodeck, and he says, "Show me the bridge of the Enterprise." And the computer says, "Enterprise A, B, C, or D?" And he says, "No bloody A, no bloody B, C, or D, the original Enterprise. And you may enter when you're ready." And the doors open. He's on the original bridge from the 1960s.
Yeah.
And the man, he just and he sat down in the chair and he's drinking scotch. And Picard wanders in there and meets with him.
No, it was the green.
Was it the green stuff?
Yeah. Which is the same green stuff that he had in that one episode where he's like, "I don't know what it is, but it's green."
I don't know what it is, but it's green. And he was drinking some alien under the table. So
yeah,
in the original series.
And then when he went into the, you know, as you say, that Next Generation episode, you felt so sorry for him because he went in there with his bottle and his glass, and you know, literally had no one. All his friends had gone.
It was 75 years since he'd been missing. He was locked in a transporter matrix, so he was the same age as he was 75 years earlier. And they found him on a wrecked ship, locked in the matrix. And so everybody knew was gone, and all of that, and so on and so on.
I still got to see all the. I've seen all the Star Trek movies with Kirk, but I haven't seen some of the new ones where, you know, the new crew's doing it. I haven't seen all them.
The prequel.
Steph asked, "Did I miss it? Did anyone answer if you can just watch?" She typed "pickled Picard," or do you have to be up on all the other seasons? No. All you really need to know, I think, you can watch it as a standalone, but it really is helpful to have been a follower of the original Star Trek Next Generation, because there's so much in this that is packed full of all kinds of Easter eggs from that show, and it involves that whole cast, you know, 30 years older.
And that's like talking about Riker. when him and Picard go in, he said, "Well, as long as we don't have to shoot, move, or whatever, we should be good."
Yes,
because they play on the fact that they are getting older.
Yeah,
and like I said, not to give nothing away, but you know, at the end of it, they show Worf sitting there beside.
Yes,
going.
They're all sitting on the bridge, and they've won the day, and all of this, and everybody's talking, and they look over at Worf. He's in the chair snoring away. He's like a typical old man. I'm just nap time.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm done.
Did you see that
shot too?
Did you see that meme today where it's like, I can't see who had it. It was like one of the guys, "Oh, I built this," and then you got Geordie underneath going, "Really? Hold my beer," and he's got the whole D Enterprise and for him. It's like, really, bitch, really? You built that? Look what I rebuilt on my own. That was really cool. I like that.
Oh, okay. It says McCoy, Spock, and Scotty made
appearances
on. Yes,
know Kirk, obviously. So
McCoy was supposed to be 130 years old. He was in the very first episode of Next Generation.
Wow.
Doing a tour. And
the prequel.
And he lapsed into his Southern. Remember, many times in the old series, he was the doctor, but when he'd get emotion or passionate, and he'd talk about, I'm just an old Southern doctor, he'd say. And so they had him walking down the corridor with Data. Data said something, and McCoy stops. He's all old and wrinkly. He says, why are you talking like that? I don't see no points on your ears, boy, he says to him. So, but yeah, you had him, and then you had Spock made some regular apperances on Next Generation. So,
but Kirk never did he? No, William Shatner never did it. He never.
No, but there's that point while they're on the Daystrom thing where, as they're going through the file, it lists Kirk's body as one of the objects that's there.
Oh, okay. I'll keep your chair warm.
Thanks.
But Leonard Nimoy and
no, I won't shut up.
They had some beef or something like that, and William Shatner will tell you one of the things he most regrets in life is not being able to make up with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah. People were criticizing him because he didn't go to Leonard's funeral when Leonard died, and I read something. He responded to that to somebody, and he said Shatner's thing was, well, I had a charity event that I was supposed to lead. And he said, I couldn't just drop that for the funeral. And he says, but more than that, and it came out even a little later, he said, I don't do well with death. Yeah. And he says, I couldn't go to that funeral. I couldn't do it. And I believe that was sincere. And
I'm the same way. I can't, with the exception of you, Scotty, I can't visit my friends in the hospital.
Yeah.
Well,
I just can't do it.
He came and visited me.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was in hospital, you wouldn't come see me.
It's really hard for me to go to the hospital to see.
Yeah, I would.
They're all hooked up to things. It's absolutely hate it.
I know, and I must admit, I don't enjoy it but having been in hospital myself, like Scotty, obviously, and Michael, and etc. Having those people coming in from the outside really makes a difference in your day. You live for that moment, and it just lifts you for 1 minute or 10 or however long you've got with them. You just feel like, I don't feel so alone. I don't feel like
I had so many good and old friends come and visit me in the hospital. Friends I didn't expect, like Wayne and Dar. Dave came and visited me when I was in the hospital with my heart surgery. And I was like, I didn't expect them. I hadn't talked to them in a few years. I had other people coming. My friends came. Of course, all my old 10 Seconds of Harmony friends came and visited me. And I can't even remember everything. I was so in and out of it for a few days there.
But you look forward to it, though, don't you? Because you're like, can you bring this for me? Or can you, just to have... Because, the nurses, they do their best and that lot, but you don't really have the kind of community chatting with them. So I'm with you there, Scotty. But anyway, I'm going to say love you and leave you. I'm off now. I will see you and speak to you before you go, because we.
What are you off to do? Something you can share with us?
I'm going shopping.
Shopping.
We have to cook dinner, and then I've got lots of work to do on here. So
love you, darling.
So here's the question.
Love you big time.
Love
you a long time.
Tuesday. Are y'all going to do the show Tuesday where Scotty will be out of town?
Yes. I'll make sure that we do Tuesday.
Have a Tuesday without a bit of.
And Monday morning, the girls are doing Ken's show.
Unless you want to take a break from it on Tuesday, a season break. We'll call it a season. We've done 23 or 24 shows now. It's a weekly show. So we've been going for 24 weeks with this.
Well, I think it's Scotty, if you can do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I can fit in a Tuesday.
Let's do it.
I do we'll
make it happen
in the week,
Yeah.
So it would be good. And we'll chat before we do that.
We'll talk before that. I'll be heading up there tomorrow. It's a 3-hour drive. So I'll be up there tomorrow and be working up there all week. So.
Okay, lovely. Hi, Carlene. Before I go.
Hi, Wendy.
Well, what's Carlene got?
Hi, Wendy.
What she got?
Oh, I got my diet caffeine-free cola.
Oh Lord, that's no good. Well, why do you even want to drink that for? Oh Lord.
Because I can't drink caffeine because I'll end up in the emergency room.
Yeah, I got a can. Rainey went to this something pantry, it's called, and you pay $35 and you get a shitload of groceries. And she went on Friday and did that, and she came home with a shitload of groceries. And everybody in the communities all go in there, and we had several cans of pop and a soda pop, and there was one Diet Mountain Dew. And yesterday I'd run out of coffee, and so I thought, I'll have a Diet Mountain Dew. And I picked it up, and it was caffeine-free Diet Mountain Dew. I just put it back. I said, I'll drink that another time.
I do miss my caffeine, but I like my heart not to go crazy. So
right.
Unfortunately,
it's drinking this. So
unfortunately, it's a trade-off. I'm like, everybody's like, well, you still drink coffee. I said, well, I still like to taste the coffee just because it's missing the caffeine,
I love coffee. I got 2 bags of caffeine-free coffee up there that are unopened.
I don't understand people that drink O'Doul's. I'm like,
yeah. Now, Mike, I have to ask you, what is that behind you?
Have some power.
Oh, that is an owl. When during the daytime, it don't really happen at night because it's dark outside. But when I open the windows back up for spring or whatever, so Mila could see outside, the light washes out my camera. So I got my throw that's got a big barn owl on it.
Yep.
Barn owl.
And they say owls are supposed to be a sign of wisdom and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was like a thrower blanket. My daughter would be in love.
Yeah.
Yes. One of these days, when I build a real studio, and that'll be a while out. If we ever build a house and we build this shipping container home, which is something we'd love to do, probably have one shipping container be the studio, and we just do it all upright. But we've got the black ceiling. We got the lights Dave gave me I haven't put up yet. He gave those to me 2 months ago. So we'll get them up there one of these days, theater lights.
No rush or anything.
Yeah, I don't want to rush into things. I got to think these things through, And but we've got the ceiling painted black in here and lights up there in the rafters, but nothing's well placed yet. Just got to do it right. So, and about the time I do all that work in here, be the time we move and we build our house or something. So,
but that's what I was thinking. The other day I was even trying to add light here, but I had so much light flooding in from behind, and I start school, so between student loans and my contracting ability, I should have a pretty nice studio setup. It ain't gonna be as nice as Scotty's in the background. I might have to put me a map or something on, put me a big Trump flag up or something. I don't know.
There you go.
For a background, and because you got to look, and I had talked to Wendy about that. You have to have. I was so used to just the voice podcast that you didn't have to worry about your surroundings. You just sat there and you talked, and you could be sitting there in just your house shoes and do a podcast. And but it's like all the technology that we have now comes back from like the original Star Trek and all that. The flip phones or whatever.
Yep.
And it makes it so easy, when
there's a whole bean decaffeinated now. Tastes good. Hills Brothers Dark Satin. Sorry, Elderberry, you lost me at Hills Brothers.
Yeah. Green Mountain Coffee started putting out some of theirs in decaf, their dark roast and stuff. And you really, once you get used to it, you don't know that there's the caffeine missing in it.
Except your body doesn't react to the caffeine.
Yeah. Like I said, I hate going to the emergency room with my heart rate in the 170. So I'm like, okay.
Right. Yeah. If you got that messing with you, you don't want to mess with the caffeine.
Yeah.
So I take meds that slow down my heart rate.
I do, but if I drink the wrong thing, it's off and gone. And
now, is that kind of like taking Prozac and drinking alcohol? I don't know. Prozac an antidepressant, alcohol being a depressant. you wash down your Prozac with scotch? No. But I still drink coffee, even though I take meds to lower my heart rate. My heart rate was right at smack on 50 the last time I went. I went to the doc because I was just tired all the time. A couple months ago, and she said, "Well, your heart rate's at 50."
Yeah, that's a little low.
They cut my my slow heart med in half. So,
yeah, I take the meds, but unfortunately, they only work to a point, and everybody's like, "Oh well, why not?" Well, if you'd like to follow me to the emergency room and watch the monitor, then yeah, well, you'll see why.
Randall Flagg says decaf has some caffeine. That's like alcohol-free alcohol. It's like it's not. Why don't they just say reduced alcohol, reduced caffeine? Because it's still got caffeine and alcohol in it. You alcoholics that are gone through your 12-step and you're drinking O'Doul's, you're still getting caffeine. Oh, I felt like Joe Biden there. You're still getting caffeine. Or alcohol.
I always said, that what is it? NyQuil is the 13th step.
Hey, Dara. How you doing, Dara?
Dara's there?
Dara, the different Dara.
Oh.
Some good points here, she says. Thank you. Now, Dara, you're new here, I think. And those of you who are new here, remember, Sunday morning is not watered down. It's a less formal version of the Intrepid radio program, which airs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. And Wendy Robertson and I do Robertson on Tuesdays. And then Sunday is just getting together and chatting. So if you're new here, that's what that's all about. Monique Rodart. Good morning, panel. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, Monique. Good to have you here today. So, she says, Dara says she's doing well. That's good to hear. Glad to have you in here this morning. I don't know where all this went out, but if you're new here, tell us where you're from, if you want to, what you're about. I know I posted the link in Chris Conway's chat this morning because we were talking about catching up, and I said, I'm doing radio. I said, if you want to come on. He says, sure. Where do I get there? And so I posted the link in there. Maybe we're drawing some people from over in Scotland.
There you go.
Scotland. So,
well, you guys all beware, because Vermont just pulled a real shit show on all of its taxpayers.
What'd they do?
The House just approved their Clean Heating Bill Act, which will fine anybody selling heating oil in Vermont, which will be passed on to the consumer.
All right.
So, in other words, when we flip our switch on next winter for our furnaces, we're all slightly.
Well, all we can do is hope for a change in the administration.
Yeah.
So.
And if the Senate approves it and our governor vetoes it, they've already said they can override his veto, so it's going through either way. So it'll be coming to other states.
All right. Thank you, Field Guy, by the way. And Monique, coming to us from Disneyland in Anaheim.
That goes back to what Scotty said the other day. They make these asinine decisions. There's no way that they can be really as offended or upset as they think, and it's like their talking point that they have to push over, and they have to toe the line on a party line. So none of the hardcore constituents, as they would say, would be upset. And it's like that's like the Walmart. These people that shows videos out there, they're eating. They say how to eat it free at Walmart, and they're teaching their kids this bad behavior.
Right.
And they wonder why Walmart said, "Look, we'll just shut down here.
They shut down.
We're not going to lose any more money." And they're like, "Oh, you can't shut down. If you shut down the Walmart here and can't let us graze in all your groceries for free, you're a racist."
Yeah, and you know what? They're in business to make money, not in business to let people graze for free. So, and by the way, Elvis, I just want to come and see you. Down in the jungle room. Walking in Memphis.
Wow.
They do that at our store. We have an open wing bar, and they're constantly having to tell people those aren't free.
Right.
And when they graze, they don't use the tongs; they use their hands. And I'm like, oh, come on, this no, that's just wrong.
Dara, up here in the Great White North, in Wisconsin and Minnesota, we just got our latest utility bill from the electric company, Xcel Energy, $937.
For how long?
That was admittedly for 2 months. We hadn't paid last month. We got
Holy
the new bill.
Crap! I thought ours was bad at $180 a month. But yeah, that's what this clean bill is. They want us all to put heat pumps in.
Yep.
But they also forget that they don't run at a certain degree below. Once it gets below a certain degree, which Vermont regularly does.
Sure.
That's like Texas put all the windmills in, but they had no consideration for if we have a cold snap and it freezes everything up.
Yep.
People was burning their furniture in their house to stay warm. And my electric bill stays around about like $140 a month, which
that's about what ours is, and we supplement our furnace with a bit of little electric fireplaces because the furnace is just underpowered for this place.
Well, we got the little electric heater. It looks like a little fireplace.
Yep.
Glowy electric logs burning.
Yep.
I set it up in here when it gets cold down in here.
Oh yeah.
Middle of winter, I had it running all the time, and but we've run that for a couple of years in our home. This year, our electricity bill is just through the ceiling.
Yeah.
So, but she said that they should try to live like we did.
Like the beginning of the Biden administration, Elvis.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
It said that they should try to live like we did. Said they could handle it.
Yeah.
On the income, whatever.
Yeah.
When they come out with something horrific or whatever, they come down and say, "Oh, I heard you had ice cream, chocolate chip." They are so removed.
Designer chocolate chip.
Yeah, designer. And what is it? What is it? Pelosi eats. She has a freezer full of ice cream too. That's been a big thing this year.
Rainey went grocery shopping yesterday. She went to Aldi's. I could tell. Well, no, she must have gone to Walmart. We have Walmart and we have Aldi's in town to go do grocery shopping, or the really expensive local grocery store, which I hate not supporting them, but they cost 30% more than the big stores. And so she came grocery shopping. We carried in, she bought a bunch of sodas because we were all out of sodas. And so like 24 packs of soda, one for the kids, one for Rainey, what she drinks, one for me. And then she had like 6 plastic bags of groceries, something like that, and a watermelon.
3,500.
And she said, well, Scotty, there's $400 of groceries right there. Yeah. I said, are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Yeah.
So $400 in groceries yesterday. And she didn't even buy all the, meat to put in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
She's starting to buy simple stuff for the kids. We like to cook, but we get, like frozen pizzas for the kids. If they want to make a pizza, they come home from school, make a pizza. She got a ton of salad stuff. What's that?
They eat a slice and then walk away from it.
Yeah. Walk away. And of course, Rainey, because she's gluten-free, she buys all the gluten-free pizza, pepperoni, cheese, and cauliflower flour. And I'm like, that doesn't do it for me. I taste cauliflower pizza, and I'm like, good God, woman. And you got to doctor it up with pineapple.
Oh God, that's even worse than cauliflower.
I love pineapple on my pizza.
Pineapple does not belong on pizza. Sorry.
The Hawaiian pizza, great. Barbecue chicken pizza with pineapple.
Oh my God. We have a place in town that does a barbecue chicken pizza, and I never had it. My daughter got it when they had their store. And because they were right across the road, and it's like, oh my God, that's about the most delicious thing I've ever had.
Yeah, it can be very good.
Scotty, I'll get with you and tell you the joke about pineapples on pizza later. I won't.
Oh yeah, is that something about group sex or something like that goes with pineapple pizza? No. Something like that. Did you know? And I didn't know this. pineapples. They're always a symbol of welcome to our door. From the 17th century, the 18th century. That's why you saw so many carved pineapples on things and on bedposts, carved pineapples. But I just learned this like last year, and it was Bree and John Learman who taught us this. The inverted pineapple stands for we want to have risque group sex. That's what that means. I don't know if it's group sex necessarily or swingers. We're swingers. So we have upside down pineapples. And I had these brass
car keys in or house keys in.
Yeah. Now you just put an upside down pineapple out. I had these lamps in the living room, big, tall, narrow lamps made out of brass. Dave, you've seen them in the small shade, and it had a pineapple on top as the decoration. I had 2 of those in the living room, and they kept stealing the pineapple. Now, for the record, we never pursued that with them. It just was a joke. And we were in the grocery store one day, Walmart, and we're shopping, and we see way at the far end of the freezer section, we see John and Bree down there. And I yelled out, and some old coot, got really mad at us because I go, John and Bree! And I yell all the way across the grocery store. And John goes, Scotty and Raini! And some old guy walks by and goes, they need to shut up. I said, you shut up. We're friends and we like each other. And so we were right in the produce section. They were all the way down at the milk and stuff. And if you know the layout of Walmart, they're all the same. And we were right in front of the pineapples. And I found a pineapple. I said, I gave it to Rowan, I think. I said, go run this down to John and Bree. I said, but hold it upside down.
Jeez.
And so we ran it all the way down there. And, and they finally caught up with us somewhere. Bree goes, she just looks at me like, right. And she goes, here, you can have your pineapple. I go, no, you keep it.
We used to catch people at the grocery store and take the pineapples and turn them upside down and stick them in their buggy and just walk away.
Yeah.
You just take the pineapple, catch them not looking, and turn it upside down in their buggy and just walk away.
Yeah.
Somebody said, Mike,
jeez.
They said, why do you do that for? I said, well, they look lonely. They need to make new friends.
Yes.
Geez, the next weekend that I'm finishing off my job at the store, when I get an ugly customer, I'll have to keep a pineapple on hand.
There you go. Here you go. Here's your pineapple.
They might take you up on it. Just saying. You got to be careful.
It might be.
Oh God, there ain't nobody in this town that. Oh my God, you touch with it. You touch with 100-foot pole. Most of them.
Nice.
Don't be
giving pineapples to strangers.
Yeah. Don't be a fearing. Nope.
No, I'll just stick it in their cart when they're not looking.
The funny thing about all that stuff with pineapples and swinging and all that and group sex and all that, guys like John and I, we joke around where we're like, well, would you really do that? And we're both like, well, if they ever asked us. And the women are all like, no, of course not. I go, what? You don't find me attractive? And John goes, Raini, you don't like me? And so it was all a big joke for us. And it was like, because the guys are like, well, yeah, if we could get away with that. Because that's the way guys are made. And women are like, no, I sleep with my husband.
That used to be the going thing in the late 60s. Everybody was doing it.
I know. So, yeah. I was not ever in on that community, I have to say.
John Anderson made a song, Just a Swingin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, like I said,
now there were. I had my prolific days, before I met Raini.
There's some big words again.
That's different. That's different than.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He throws some big words out there.
Elvis, 14 on my end. He said.
then I have to go and Google what that word means.
Field guy said, did someone say boobs? Elvis said 14 on my end.
Yeah.
Let's see. How many people is that? Do your math, kids.
Yeah.
So if Elvis walks into the room and there are 14 boobs, how many people does that represent? Oh, I hate math. Word math.
7.
That would be 8.
Well, it depends if they have a third one.
Kristen? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, the third boob.
You're from Mars and you have 3 of them.
Yeah,
thinking back to the Schwarzenegger Martian movie, the woman with 3 boobs.
There's a lady out in California actually had a third one installed just for like a novelty for a strip club.
I got to put this up so everybody knows this and you're clear on this. Steph Cuervo Queen has boobs. There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you newbies didn't know we got naughty here. Oh, too bad Wendy's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about naughty talk sometimes.
Naughty. Yeah.
It's naughty. It's not gross. It's not vile. It's just naughty.
Yeah.
So
that's it. And hey, we're going to send you some of the pink flamingos out to go with your pineapple. So if you got the pink flamingos in the yard and you got the pineapple knocker on your door.
Yeah.
You got to put that's
pink flamingos mean something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, the same thing.
Does that mean gay?
No. The pink flamingos mean that your house was welcome for the party.
That was one of the South Parks last night.
Now I'm never going to be able to look at a pink flamingo again.
No, there was a joke about being gay, and they had Kanye. This is before Kanye married what's her face and all this. This is back in like 2009 or 10, and they told a joke. What did they say? They said,
"Oh, that's a cat."
What do you get when you? How did the joke go? It was so simple. It was not cross a fish with fish sticks, but it's like if you're a fish and you like fish sticks, you're gay fish, right?
Yeah.
And this was their big joke. The boys in it, and Kanye said he liked fish sticks, and they said, "Oh, you must be a gay fish." Well, I'm not a fish. But I love fish sticks. And they said something like, well, do you like fish sticks? Are you a fish? Do you put fish sticks in your mouth? You must be a gay. And it was the South Park built it all up. The whole show was about this dumb joke. And so that makes no difference now. So you got to have watched it. You had to have watched it. What does Chris say? Chris Conway wrote me, brother, thank you for having me join in. This was not like me, but I need to warn you about that woman. My guides were screaming. So just be careful, brother. So my wife, my woman's amazing. I don't think that's what he meant by that. He's joking around with me. So he knows, Rainy. So let's see. So it was good to have Chris on. Loved having him on. It's good to reconnect with him. So anyway,
I am going to have to bow out.
It's actually that time.
I was going to say I can start to smell my turkey dinner, so I've got to go tend to that shortly.
Okay. I like to make turkey dinners in the summertime. We got a 26 pounder in the freezer. I like to save those for the middle of summer so we can do Thanksgiving in the summer.
Yep. Yeah, I usually get a big one. My husband cuts it in half, and I was in the mood for turkey today. I'm like, yeah, we need turkey again.
That's funny, Elderberry. He says Cartman took a picture of his ass. They made it look like boobs for 6th graders. My wife once had a very skimpy tank top on with the big cleavage and all that, and she pulled a pair of pants up to him and made it look like plumber crack.
Yeah.
So that's what I called it. I put the picture up and I said, my wife's plumber crack. Butt crack, So
as we say when our neighbors do that, they wear their pants down. You can see the plumber. It's like, say no to crack. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, Kristen Ivans. Good to see you. We are almost wrapping up this morning. So we've been going about 2 hours and 9-10 minutes now.
10-11. Yeah.
And we're usually out by 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock out east. What would it be? 9 a.m. No. Yeah, it'd be 9 a.m. out west now. So we're getting ready to wrap up. Rainey's already taken off out of here to do other things, and so we're gonna wrap her. So yeah, you should see the picture, Elderberry. It's on my Facebook somewhere. It's from like 8 years ago. So, it was a funny picture. She's got her head way up like this and her neck showing, but she's got the pants pulled up. So
I have to say though, deviled eggs need horseradish.
Oh, but yeah, the deviled eggs. I got a funny story for you. I was at a church banquet or whatever they call it one day, and I said, "Oh, you got deviled eggs?" They said, "We don't call them deviled eggs here; they're heavenly eggs." And I thought, okay, that's the reason I don't go to church. But anyway, all right, Scotty.
All right, guys.
Hey, you guys all have a good day.
Let's see. Where's my window? There it is. See you, Carlene. And see you, Michael. And Uncle Dave. Oops. Ooh.
Bye.
We'll see you later, brother.
Yep. Take
Have
it
a good
easy.
day. Have fun painting. All right, folks. That's pretty much it. We're done. We're going to wrap this show up. Thank you for being here. Be sure to come back Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. Central Time. That's 10 p.m. out east. That would be 7 p.m. on the left coast. And come in for Intrepid Radio. And you can also come back on Tuesday, where Wendy Robertson and I, Robertson, we do our Tuesday night show, but it's at 4 p.m. in the afternoon Central, because we have to accommodate her out in London, where it's 10 p.m. when she does the show. So we'll see you all again tomorrow. I want to thank you for being here. And I'm just talking because I'm trying to find my exit. So thanks for coming. It was nice to have Raini on this morning. She doesn't always make it in these days. But until next time, live long and prosper.